You already know what a music reactor is, or you wouldn't have purchased this course. Let's take a deeper dive into what music reactions are and why they work. Music reactions are not just someone reacting to music. They are a powerful marketing tool. Reactors are like the old school radio DJs. They're tastemakers who feed new music to niche audiences. When radio and TV was still the thing, people would listen to their favorite radio DJs in their niche to discover new music through a trusted source. Same with MTV and things like that. Music reactors are the modern social media equivalent of this. The audience in modern times uses social media as radio and TV, and short form content on TikTok, IG, all of that stuff is where they discover new music, as well as everything else. As a marketing vehicle, music reactions are one of the most effective tools record labels and artists use to promote their music. Music reactions have some of the highest conversions to streaming out of all the approaches to music marketing. Influencer marketing is no longer about putting music in any influencer's post like it used to be, where labels and artists would pay anyone with a following to use their music in their posts. This approach was always ineffective because a random makeup influencer may have influence over an audience seeking makeup tutorials or recommendations for beauty products, but they don't have influence over the music consumption. It's all very obvious now in hindsight, but the audience for a makeup influencer follows them because they want makeup content. They're not looking for new music when they watch a makeup artist's content. Music reactors are influencers too, but their influence is over an audience who is seeking new music. That is why it works. Music reactions have become one of, if not the most powerful influencer marketing tools in music, as the audience is watching and following specifically to be introduced to and discover new music. There are many psychological reasons why music reactors and music reactions work. Let's start with social proof. Numerous studies in psychology and behavioral economics have shown the power of social proof. We see others who are like us engaging with and enjoying a product or service, or in our case, a song. And even better, if we see people who we aspire to be like, who we admire and who are authorities in our minds engaging with that music, it gives that music a stamp of approval. And when people we admire or look up to approve of something, we are more likely to also approve with and engage with it. Conformity bias. Similar to social proof, studies into conformity bias have shown us clearly that people will conform to an established opinion, even if that opinion is actually wrong. Solomon Asch conducted a series of experiments which showed that 75% of participants, when shown incorrect answers to questions other participants had answered, would conform to the wrong answer just because others did, demonstrating the power of conformity bias even when incorrect. So in the context of music reactions, if a reactor approves of a song and others agree in the comments, the likelihood more audience members will also agree goes up massively. There are many other psychological reasons music reactions work and convert audiences into listeners, like the FOMO effect, the fear of missing out, groupthink, going along with the crowd, and many others. But one thing that's very important is the fact that people want to be influenced by humans over algorithms. A recent study showed that 74% of music consumers discover new music through social media content. That's 3/4 of music listeners. When I said music reactors are the new radio DJs and short form content is the new radio and TV, this is what I meant. 67% of consumers listen to music on streaming services directly after discovering that music on social media. So there's the conversion I'm talking about. People are discovering on socials and moving over to streaming platforms to listen in full. 54% of music consumers polled said they preferred discovering new music through human influence rather than algorithmic. So rather than songs being suggested for you on streaming services, people would rather have music suggested to them by actual people, tying into everything I've said so far. People want social proof. They want to conform to the crowd, and they are swayed by the authority figures and influencers they admire and trust. Music reactors. How many times have you discovered new music through a reactor? A lot, I bet. I personally discover more music through music reactions than any other method of discovery, and algorithms can't compete with the trust I have for certain reactors, their taste, and understanding of me as a music consumer. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Music reactors are the new radio DJs, the new MTV, feeding new music to niche audiences And nothing comes close to the power they have to convert an audience member on social media to a listener on streaming platforms. I could write an entire course on the psychology of music reactions and why they work to influence the audience, but I'm sure you guys get it. Music reactions work. So let's get started in setting you up to become the next successful music reactor.